Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. Yeah, I'm here to talk about a new trailer that's out um about a movie called King Richard, starring Will Smith and Demi Singleton, about the life of Venus and Serena Williams. Basically, this is about Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams, and how he struggled to have his daughters overcome the odds of living in a rough neighborhood like Compton, California, to become two of the tippy top tennis players in all of tennis history, and some of the obstacles he had to overcome, specifically racism and sexism. So, once again, this is a story really about a father who has to make certain sacrifices in order so that his daughters will be safe and all right and successful. Because deep in his heart, he knows that his daughters are really talented. And he has a speech in there where he tells them, he tells the mother, he says, these girls, these girls, Venus and Serena, they're gonna change the world. In the beginning, there's a social worker that comes in there. She's trying to take the children away, and the mother basically tells them, played by Anjanae Ellis, you know, our girls do really well. We have two that are tennis stars, and the other two girls, do really good in school. So, despite overcoming the odds of living in one of the worst neighborhoods of all time, and there's another scene where they still become successful, and then there's another scene where Dylan McDermott's character says, "Well, if these girls are so great, how come I've never heard of them?" And the other guy says, "Well, it's because they're from Compton." Now, Compton at this time, when Venus and Serena Williams were growing up, was one of the worst neighborhoods ever. It was profiled in music, it was profiled in popular media like Boys in the Hood as being one of the worst neighborhoods ever. So here they are playing this really white posh sport like tennis in the middle of the ghetto of Compton and being really well at it and really excelling at it. Of course, the parallels come to the life of Michael Jordan. And like one of the guys says in the movie to Richard Williams, he says, "Well, you have you have the next Michael Jordan." He says, "No, I have two. I have two. So I have two of the greatest athletes that are going to change the world, change people's perception of tennis, as well as change their perception of what black female athletes are capable of." So it looks like a pretty good film. It is uh, directed by um, Ryan, Reginald Marcus Green. It is It's starring Demi Singleton and Will Smith. Demi Singleton, of course, is famous from as playing the daughter on Godfather of Harlem. She plays Margaret on Godfather of Harlem. She's well known from that. And Reginald Marcus Green is famous for directing the show Top Boys, a show that I've talked about before in my archives. For the writer who is Zach Balin, this is his first outing really as a writer, so we'll see how this goes. But for funny that Lisa, my friend and co-host in this, when she heard the title, she thought it was King Richard, like King Richard the Lionheart, like the guy who fought the Crusades instead Venus and Serena's father. And I'm getting to the title now. And I immediately thought that that was the case as well. I thought this is a medieval movie about King Richard. You know what I mean? Instead of, yeah, I mean, in the title, you can't really tell that it's really anything about Venus and Serena Williams. A lot of people don't know who Richard Williams, their father, really is, unless they're big Venus and Serena Williams fans. They wouldn't really know about who her father is. So the title of King Richard is kind of misleading. But then when I heard about the director was Reginald Marcus Green, and he directed Top Boy, like that makes it even more funnier because Top Boy is a Netflix drama set in the United Kingdom about UK culture, UK drill culture, and trap culture. So I'm like, well, this is about, are they gonna make like some UK history like trap type stuff? But then I was like, nah, that's not what's gonna be. It's gonna be about Venus and Serena. But why not include Venus and Serena in the title? You know, like King Richard doesn't really make much sense. But I guess they were trying to fool people into thinking it was something UK related. Yeah, they were thinking that it was something to do with the United Kingdom because of the of the director and because of Top Boy, the success of Top Boy. But uh, this is not anything like Top Boy. Not only is it not set in the United Kingdom, it is not about crime really. Yes, it's set in the ghetto, and Venus and Serena overcome the odds. But this to me, yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's what they were going for, Lisa, but that's what it seemed like they were going for. Like something you, because King Richard, for many people that don't know, well, there's two King Richards. There's the King Richard the third that Shakespeare wrote about, and then there's King Richard the Lionheart, which what I thought this was about. He's the king that went on crusades. He's the famous king that lost his kingdom and his brother took over, and then the barons of the United Kingdom forced the brother to sign Magna Carta in 1215. But so he's one of England's most famous kings, and it would be very interesting to have um, an African American person play somebody in British history. Why not? You know what I mean? Um, if anything, you could have Will Smith play Saladin. Saladin was the famous adversary when King Richard the Lionheart went on crusades. It was the third crusade. It was in the 1100s. They fought the Battle of Hattin in 1146, 1147, um, over Jerusalem. It was probably the most famous crusade ever made. Ridley Scott made a movie about it called Kingdom of Heaven. So if you wanted to have Will Smith play Saladin in that, you could have that. You know what I mean? And have somebody else play Richard the Lionheart if you want to avoid people being, um, upset about the person's race. Like they say, oh, well, that was a real person in history. Um, why have somebody black play it? But there you go, Saladin. He was somebody dark skinned, and and you know me, I love those history epics, and they need to do a movie about the Crusades. That's a really good one. Ridley Scott's Kingdom of Heaven, starring Orlando Bloom, back in like 2004 was shitty. So having Will Smith do it would be good too because he has some command of Arabic from when he played Ali and also when he played in Aladdin the Genie. So he's pretty familiar with Arabic. So if he were to do a Crusade movie as either King Richard or as Saladin, he would have some command of certain Arabic words. But going back to this, um, as Lisa said, um, if this movie don't do well, exactly, because people won't know it's they have themselves to blame. Um, and Will Smith doesn't shy away from that kind of controversy either. I mean, him and his son did the second Karate Kid, and that was a white movie, and um, with Taraji P Henson, and they completely reworked it. And of course, Robin Williams' role as the genie was a white guy, and they didn't shy away from that. So it wouldn't have shocked me if it was a movie about the Third Crusade and King Richard the Lionheart, but it's not. It's a movie about Venus and Serena Williams, and I honestly think this kind of movie will be great because I don't know much about the life of Venus and Serena Williams, and I like these autobiographical picks when you can go in and you don't know much about the person, but you end up learning a lot about them. You know, you end up learning things you didn't know. For example, like Ray. I went into Ray. No, I knew who Ray Charles was, but I didn't know a lot about the person of Ray Charles and the struggle of Ray Charles. So when I got um when I watched the movie, it was like, okay, now I know a lot about Ray Charles. Now I can understand the life of Ray Charles, the struggles that Ray Charles had, and I felt a lot of sympathy for him. Same thing with Mark Anthony when he played the part of Hector Lavoe in El Cantante alongside J Lo. I learned a lot about the life of Hector Lavoe, somebody that I had known. I know their music, I know their work, I know who they are, but I don't know much about them from a biographical standpoint. Joaquin Phoenix and Walk the Line too is another example. Learning about Johnny Cash, and Will Smith is great for this because, as I mentioned, Ali. He's done autobiographies before. Um, Christopher Gar- um, Christopher Gardner, um, the Man in Pursuit of Happiness. He's did the autobiography of him as well. And Will Smith is just he plays this when he plays serious roles. He's great at it, and he's great at the fatherly type roles. So this thing of him being the father of Venus and Serena Williams, he's gonna knock this out the park. Because, like I said, whenever he plays serious roles as a father type figure, he's really good. I mean, he probably is a really good father in real life. I don't know, but in terms of being the fatherly type role, like he plays Christopher Garner in Pursuit of Happiness, or even Doctor Malu in Concussions. You know what I mean. So when he decides to get serious, Will, especially playing the father role, he's one of the best that ever did it. So he'll knock this out the park. And Demi Singleton is great too. Like I said, I watch her every Sunday. I'm Godfather of Harlem as um, Margaret Johnson, the daughter of Bumpy, and this should be something good because we'll learn what things we don't know about the Williams sisters. All we really know, well, all I really know anyway, is that the Williams sisters are really good at tennis. Well, how did they get there? They didn't get there on happenstance. They got there because they were molded to be that. There's a scene in there where her father's getting beat up and he's surrounded by tennis balls, right? The movie comes out in November. I think it'll be released on streaming, but by then, it doesn't star Scarlett Johansson, so don't worry, guys. If it comes out, Scarlett Johansson's not gonna sue you for releasing it in theaters. uh, um, But it should be released in theaters by then if we get the Delta strain under control. But if not, it'll probably come out in a streaming service, probably HBO Max, which is the most popular streaming service out right now, blowing Disney Plus out of the water. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, whether it's in theaters or on a streaming service. Like I said, I like Will Smith in these kind of serious roles, and I like Demi Singleton. And I love the guy, the director, Reginald Marcus Green, because I'm a huge Top Boy fan. So it should be good. Thank you, Lisa, for contributing. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button to see when my next video is coming out. Peace. Love y'all.